Hey Amy, love you, love your page. Okay, y'all, so I know I talk about immortality a lot, and this makes me sound like a crazy person. Let me explain. So, I was doing a shamanic practice of imagining my death over and over and over and over and over. I was living at a beach where a lot of people drowned, and it's actually called Beach of the Dead, and they used to do human sacrifice there, and there were a lot of souls that were stuck in the realm that were pulling people into the water. So this beach is a tourist beach, but there would always be drownings. And so I had witnessed drownings, I had witnessed lots of rescues, I had heard the screams, and the screams were fresh on my mind. So I was meditating at this beach for many hours every day, and I just entered into this spontaneous, extended contemplation of death where I ended up visualizing my own death over and over and over. I actually started the practice of visualizing my death over and over and over during COVID, because the first week that it hit, before we really knew what was going on, I was afraid to go to the grocery store. And so I was like, oh, I don't want to go to the grocery store. What if I die? And then I was like, okay, well, what if I die? And so then I just started to just imagine the whole thing all the way through. Now, when I say all the way through, I mean the funeral too. So you got to imagine your funeral. This is what I did, anyways. So yeah, anytime I would get scared, I would just imagine my death, like right there in that instant. Oh no, this is so embarrassing. I'm dying. I'm a healer. What are people going to say about me? They're going to say she didn't know what she was talking about. This is so embarrassing, and just the whole thing. Oh, my haters are going to come and get my stuff. Just imagine all of that, right? So yeah, I did it during COVID, and then I did it for months at this beach. And I was even walking people through a program called Death Medicine, which helps people do the same thing, like face death, think about death. What does death mean to you? Imagine what people would say to you, say about you at your funeral. Okay, so once I did this for a while, then at some point, I was doing a lot of breath work, DMT breath work with my own natural breath. And this sent me into spontaneous fasting. So then I was fasting on coconuts. And then I met some fruitarian people and I met some breatharian people. Okay, wait, but go back. Right before I met the fruitarians and the breatharians, I was shown that immortality is possible in this body. So I had thoroughly accepted my own death, thoroughly. And I had walked other people through this process of embracing death and all that stuff. Then, within a period of 4 days, it came to me from 4 different sources. Oh no, we can actually be immortal. Now it's come to me from countless sources and shows up in my field all the time. But I don't remember what the original 4 sources were, but I'm just going to tell you a few that I remember off the top of my head. So one is the breathwork technique that I teach. If you go to my YouTube page, there's a bunch of free breathwork sessions. So there's a bunch of videos. A lot of them are meditations. The ones that are about an hour long, like 45 minutes and up, those are the longer breathwork ones. So that technique, the person who brought it to Earth through extraterrestrials talks about immortality a lot, and how through clearing our memories, we can actually become immortal. Okay, and there's a whole science to it, and a sacred geometry and all kinds of stuff. So that was one source. Then the Sophia Code, which if you haven't read it, I highly recommend going and reading it. It's basically all of these different female Christ embodiments, like, Isis, Hathor, the white buffalo woman, and all that stuff. So, Yeah, go read the Sophia Code. It definitely touches on immortality and the science of immortality. Then it came to me from another source that some scientists had decoded the hieroglyphs, and that Isis was actually laying out the science of immortality. Okay. Then if you read the Emerald Tablets Toth, he talks about immortality there too. Okay. So then now it just comes to me from every angle. Like, I was shown very specifically that I am supposed to be keeping my eye out for this immortality thing. Like, that it's possible. I've been shown that I'm on this path. So let's talk about the breatharianism. Breatharianism is really empowering, and I am on the pranic path. Currently, I'm eating food. But I do believe that we can transition. We don't need food, but it's a vibrational difference. So there's different octaves of reality. Just like if you're in prison, there's one set of rules. If you're, living in Iceland, there's one set of rules. And if you're living on a tropical beach, there's one set of rules. So there's different octaves of reality, and the whole nature of reality is different. It's like the Buddhist parable of the 6 types of beings, where they're all looking at the river, and I'm not going to get all the names right in this, but like the lower beings look at the river and they see it's made of pus and blood. The humans see the river and they see it as something to drink. The animals see the river and they see it as their home because they're swimming in it. And then the higher beings, I don't remember what they called them, if they were like demigods or what, they see the river as nectar, right? So that's just a parable for the fact that all of these different octaves of reality are actually happening here and now on Earth, and that's largely determined through our nervous system and how regulated our nervous system is. So food is a metaphor for this, and there's no one right way. Actually, I've been initiated into multiple spiritual paths, and the wrathful Buddhist path recommends eating meat and alcohol, which I don't do, but I do practice some of their wrathful meditations that are very helpful, including meditating on the charnel grounds and stuff like that. But the pranic path is the path of learning how to source directly from within. So things like the sun are our teachers. The sun is our teacher to show us how to learn how to source from within. So while we're learning how to source entirely from within, we can source from the sun. So I received 2 pranic activations from a teacher from Italy who was traveling in Mexico. And the land that I live on in Mexico initiates people because, right now I'm barefooted on the earth. I have to nourish daily from nature. I'm plugged in a different way. If someone is living in 4 walls of a toxic house and feeding themselves with artificial light, you're going to have to eat really dense. But if you unplug from that, you literally can nourish from other sources. You literally can nourish from the sun and from the ocean. And my teacher is teaching me how to, she basically just gave me the empowerment, and now it's up to me to cultivate the ability to just generate light from within. So I have experienced these higher octave states where I saw that nutrition didn't even matter. Like, it didn't matter if you were eating a chip or a French fry or a papaya. It didn't even matter. Everything, there's a different set of rules to where everything becomes pure vibration, and you're operating with blessings, you're operating with energy. And at that frequency, which is similar to how we lived when we lived in Lemuria, we're able to change our appearance. We are able to regenerate our bodies. This kind of thing is more normal in India. I know we all know that there's some 700-year-old people living in caves and stuff like that there. Like, it's a thing, it's real. But it's going to become even more real because now it's happening. Our DNA is upgrading, and starting in 2027, there's going to be an actual amino acid mutation in the humans that is awakening our DNA even more, and we're going to have more options available to us. So keep your eye out for this. And go check out my free breathwork videos on YouTube.